Honor to meet you, Pathfinder. Initiative Pilot Marixus. I run supplies to your outposts.
What brings you to Aya?
Your survival supplies only Aya has. I'm waiting on clearance to enter the city, but it's taking too long. I understand their caution, but the outposts need these supplies. I have to get them, now.
They let me into the city. I can help.
I appreciate that. To start, EOS needs a way to produce food to support population growth. They requested quinoa seeds to begin their own crops. There's an agricultural scientist who might sell some.
I'll make sure to get those seeds.
Settlers on Kadara are suffering from a bacterial infection. They need Angaran antibiotics to fight it. A medic in the city should be able to help.
Got it. They'll have that medicine in no time.
Eladin's water purifier can't keep up with demand. They're requesting one of those Angaran ionic filters. There are engineers who work in the aqueducts here. I'll bet they have what we need.
On it. One filter coming up.
Pathfinder, more of your outposts need help, if you have time. Vol's power grid is lagging without proper solar input. The solar amplifier would give them a boost. The solar technicians here may have the required parts.
I'll see what I can find.
Pathfinder?
You work on the solar panels. Do you have an amplifier for solar energy?
Nothing as big as these, but I have a smaller one on hand. Do you need it?
Next is Ambassador Reala appears to be something nice.
Ambassador, I trust our people had a smooth transition to Aya.
The Angara have been gracious. Everything's going well.
Good. Keep me updated. 10 out.
I've never lied to a director before. Pathfinder, it's a pleasure. I'm Ambassador Reala, Chief Diplomat for the Initiative on Aya. I was removed from Cryo specifically for this. Quite the wake-up call.
I assume you're trained for first contact diplomacy.
I'm a social anthropologist with a linguistics background. Close enough for Director Tan. I hear you're to thank for our new ties with Aya. This is our best shot at an alliance. Now we just need to keep our people from wrecking it, no matter how hard they try.
I'm not going to like this, am I?
No more than I do. A Solarian botanist named Sorvis Len is here, learning how to improve our crops. He sent an urgent comm, saying a member of the Angaran resistance had threatened him.
What happened?
I'm not sure. Sorvis is an excellent scientist, but not the best communicator. I'm concerned this could escalate if someone doesn't look into it, but I don't have the staff to spare.
I can go settle things. I'm a friendly face for both sides.
That would be helpful. With any luck, we can prevent this from getting worse.
Aside from Sorvis Len, is everything okay? Need anything else?
Actually, yes. Director Tan gave me a project. He wants more Aya natives to live on the Nexus. He thinks it will deepen our partnership. A few Angara expressed interest, but none of them will agree to live on the Nexus without speaking to you first.
Why me?
After what you've accomplished? I didn't want to bother you, but you asked. I'll point you towards the candidates. If you could convince them to transfer, I'd be grateful.
What's our end goal for Aya?
A strong alliance is all we can ask for. It's what we're working toward. Helios is the Angara's home. They dictate the terms of this partnership, not us. We need them as allies, and they could benefit from us. But we have to tread lightly.
Show them we're not invaders.
Historically, when two civilizations meet, one consumes or destroys the other. We need to break that cycle.
How many of our people have they let into the city?
A strictly limited number, and only certain professions. Scientists, engineers, and scholars. The Angara have agreed to allow some of our people to work in Aya's research facilities.
That's huge.
It's more than I expected. Tan wants me to push for social visits, but I'm holding my ground. We need to move at their pace. They've been extraordinarily gracious, all things considered. I'll take whatever they're willing to give.
That's all for now.
I'm here if you need anything.
Think we'll see more of them?
Weird question. You don't have any Kiloa seeds, do you?
Yes, I do. Need some?
You're one of Ambassador Riala's candidates to live on the Nexus.
I am. Glad you finally showed up. Let's get down to it. I've lived my whole life wanting to meet aliens who didn't want me dead. But my family's here. How can I stay in touch with them from the Nexus?
You'll have ways to send them text messages and comm transmissions.
I want contact with the people I love. You offer machines. Not good enough, Pathfinder.
Good to be back here, ready to hit those scans.
What am I looking for?
Moran called out supplies that may have useful properties for our tech. Just need to get Sam's eye on them. Take a stroll. Enjoy the market. Nav sent.
Ryder.
Not today, Nexus.
Liam?
God damn it.
What's going on?
Nothing to worry about. Just come grab a table with me. Pathfinder, you're good here. We'll worry about the data another time.
Liam, what's going on?
I, figured we should head up somewhere nice and open. You were being cased.
Are you getting me in trouble? What was this about?
We're not in trouble exactly, but I don't blame them for being angry. I wanted to get data that would help yields at our outposts. Moran told me what to scan, but I called it off. I still owe her, but it's better than pissing off some gouging hardliner. Sorry I didn't clue you in. It's a security thing. Food is security.
Was this an attempt to copy their methods? Steal secrets?
We're not competing companies. It's about learning to live here. Remember my Tempest freakout? I tried proper channels. Got blocked by the Angara and the Nexus. There's only so much Jar can tell us, so I did what we do back in crisis response. Bend the rules.
Liam, I deserve better than having this sprung on me mid-market.
You're right, of course, you're right. And the Angara are right too. The last people who showed up out of the blue were the Ket, the ultimate users. I don't want us getting lumped in with them, and I really, really don't want to ruin the market. Street food and shooting the shit with you? Feels normal. About time something did.
Let's not push our luck. We'll save the market for another day.
Good idea, Pathfinder. We've enough trouble, probably more coming.
Do you work on water filtration here?
I designed the system for it.
Can you sell me an ionic filter? My people need it on Eladin.
If they're tough enough for Eladin, they deserve help. Here.
I can't work under these conditions. What does it take to be left alone?
Ease off. I'm here to help. You reported that someone in the Resistance threatened you. Tell me exactly what happened.
I didn't know Riala was sending the Pathfinder. I deserve no less, of course. I was measuring the photonic dispersal from the canopies when some random brute interrupted me. I asked him to move, and he got nasty. Said it was my fault his friend was dead. Ridiculous.
Do you know what he meant by that?
He ranted nonsense about a vessel and selling slots to outsiders. He got right up in my face and compared me to a Ket. He wanted to kill me. I could see it in his eyes. The whole conversation made no sense. I think he was inebriated.
Sounds like there's more to this. Don't suppose you caught his name.
Didn't ask, didn't want it, didn't need it. When he left, I tagged him with infrared dye from my sample kit. Invisible to the naked eye, but not to a scanner.
I'll scan people around the Resistance headquarters, see if I find him.
You're supposed to represent our interests on Aya. Go, represent. I have work to do.
Pathfinder, Ambassador Riala didn't think you'd have time for me.
She said you needed to talk before agreeing to live on the Nexus.
This is the opportunity of a lifetime. I'm an anthropologist, but I've only ever studied my own people. I've heard the Nexus is home to multiple species and cultures. It will be fascinating and possibly dangerous. Bacteria, viruses, other contaminants. My family worries about me. Are you sure I'll be safe?
We'll take every precaution, but entering an alien environment is always a risk.
I appreciate your honesty, and so will my family. I'll convince them to let me go. Thank you.
Pavoa, I'm glad they finally let you into the city. You deserve it. This is Aya's Cultural Museum and History Archive. It's small, but you've already made it brighter.
I'll come back when I have something.
Stars guide your travels. Hello, Pathfinder. Any good news for me?
I picked this up. Any idea what it might be?
How in the skies did you find an Angaran star map? One that still works, even. It must be pre-Scourge. If we analyze it, we can learn where our people traveled before the Dark Age.
Do you know much about where your ancestors traveled?
No, not at all. The Scourge wiped out nearly everything. We're only just beginning to travel again.
Could they have made it to another galaxy? Like us?
It's possible. For all we know, there are entire Angaran worlds beyond our reach.
I picked up this figure earlier. It might be Angaran.
This is unfamiliar to me. It does resemble an Angara, but it looks so strange. It's clearly centuries old. Is it an artistic interpretation, or is this what we really look like? The implications. Pathfinder, you may have discovered our earliest artifact yet.
Could it be a relic from another culture?
The technique and material matches other Angaran relics, and you found it in one of our worlds. But perhaps the depiction isn't an Angara. It could be a deity of some sort.
Is this Angaran? I found it on one of your homeworlds.
Son above. It's an ancient Ravan, a musical instrument. It uses Angara's body energy to produce music. We have them now, but nothing this beautiful. The songs it played were probably lost long ago. How much culture have we forgotten? Art, music, stories, it's all gone.
You're already rebuilding. Look at Aya.
We have a long way to go. In any case, relics like this help us. You've given me more to study than I ever expected. I've got a lot of work ahead. Thank you for your help, Pathfinder. I'll let you know if I discover anything.
Getting acquainted with our new neighbors?
Sort of. All this stuff. The Angara sure do have a rich culture and blah, blah, blah.
You're sauced, aren't you? What's your poison?
I visited that cafe the Angara consider a bar. Asked for their hardest stuff. It was weird, which I like, but had almost no punch. Lightweight. Whoa.
Steady now?
That stuff must have a slow absorption rate. Whoops. Oh, writer. It's just... This museum reminds me of being on Haitiana during my indentured service as a student. They even have a whole section on the Remnant. I didn't come to Andromeda to follow in someone else's footsteps.
It didn't occur to you there'd be indigenous species here? Sentients with a rich history, leading full lives?
I guess.
Even so, the Angara barely have a foothold. Sure, they live among the ruins, but they haven't seen what we've already seen.
You might have a point there. Bet nobody here has ever outrun an ancient vault purification field, huh?
Nope.
Or spat in that Archon's ugly mug and lived to talk about it? That was nice work, by the way.
Thank you.
You're right. Not sure why, but ever since I packed up my apartment on the Nexus, something's crawled under my skin. But whatever it is, I promise, I'll get over it lickety-split.
You're fine, PB. We all need to cut loose once in a while.
That's awfully understanding of you, Ryder. You're a good egg. Think I'll stay in your operation a little while longer.
If should have come to me.
Uxul, I'm all right.
You almost died. What's she doing here?
I asked the Moshai to set up a meeting. I don't want us to be enemies.
Is this true?
Axel, Ryder rescued me from the Ket. She risked her life to...
Sloane Kelly saved Kadara. Look how that went.
I want to be allies. Equal allies.
You don't even treat your own equally. Isn't that why the Krogan left?
How did you...
I've been watching you. You're invaders just like the Ket, except less cautious.
What does that mean?
You'll know soon enough. Do not trust them, Chauvin.
Axel... He didn't used to be like this. He was curious, brilliant. But the Ket, even without exaltation, they change us.
There's still time to bring him around.
I want to believe that, but his hatred towards aliens...
I'll prove we can be trusted.
I hope so.
Ryder, we just received an emergency recording from EOS. Come to the meeting room when you get back to the Tempest.
Hello there.
I'm working.
You scanned me pretty hard. That wasn't your way of saying, welcome, stranger?
I wanted to be discreet.
Noted. What's your interest in me?
You're an alien on my homeworld. Why wouldn't I be interested?
You could have asked.
Fine. Will you submit to a full spectrum analysis of your biology?
You haven't even told me your name.
Darnfra, biological researcher. This is my home.
Are you looking for something specific?
We share many external similarities. I want to learn if that holds true internally.
Can't fault you for being curious. Scan away.
I didn't think you'd comply.
I'm full of surprises.
That you are. When we face extinction, family is our final comfort. Do you understand that?
I came to this galaxy with my family. I lost my father on the day I arrived.
But you still carry on his legacy. He knew that, in the end. Family is everything. Not only the one we have now, but the ones that follow us. What will your family look like in 5 generations? 10? How many of you will there be?
You're worried there'll be more of us than you.
I have 23 grandchildren. I want to know what their grandchildren will inherit. Goodbye, Pathfinder.
No entering the med center until you're clean.
How do I decontaminate?
Ion console. Touch the start pad, it does the rest.
My people on Kadara are fighting a bacterial infection. Do you have antibiotics?
Of course. Will this do?
I detect the infrared dye Sorvis Len used to mark the person who threatened him.
That's our man.
I know why you're here. The botanist. You want an apology for what I said to him.
I only have one side of the story. Tell me yours.
It's hard to explain.
Try me?
Aya isn't big enough to give everyone a home. We each live here a short time and then move on. For someone to come, another must go. The exchanges are chosen at random. We call this arrangement the Vassal. Time of change. It worked well, until now.
The Vassal never accounted for outsiders living on Aya.
There's only so much room. When our leaders agreed to make a place for your people here, it came with a cost. My friend won a place on Aya, but he sold that slot so one of you could stay here instead.
Sold it how? What did he get?
Comforts for his family, resources to improve their home on Haval. He always put others before himself. That's how he died, fighting Ket on Vold. When I found out, I was angry. Said things to your botanist I shouldn't have, but I'd never hurt your people.
He thinks you want him dead. Tell him what you just told me, and let's move on.
Thought I was clear the first time. Maybe his translator malfunctioned.
I'll talk to our ambassador, see if we can minimize our impact on your Vassal.
We don't expect things to be easy. Only that you understand, nothing is free for us.
Pathfinder, Ephra cleared you to purchase weapons, over my objections.
Anything I buy will be used to fight Ket.
You fight our enemy, but you're not one of us. Remember that.
Welcome back. Any news on what happened to Sorvis Len?
Do you know about the Vassal? The Angaran lottery that decides who gets to live on Aya.
I've heard of it. Why?
Angara are selling their slots to come here so our people can stay in their place. Including a member of the Angaran resistance. He was killed on Vold. Wouldn't have happened if he'd been here.
No one told me of this arrangement. Oh, we have to do something.
We could let Angara who give up their slots live on the Nexus. It's safer than Vold.
Exactly what I was thinking. No one should suffer on our behalf. Thank you, Pathfinder. I'll forward your proposal to Director Tan immediately.
That's all for now.
I'm here if you need anything.
Ambassador Riala said you're thinking of moving to the Nexus.
Pathfinder. I'm honored even to be considered for the transfer. I won't be happy as just an observer. I need to work. I engineer power systems. Will I be allowed employment alongside your people?
That's the whole point of this exchange. The Nexus needs people like you.
That's all I needed to hear. I'll have your ambassador start the transfer. Thank you.
I found Kiloa seeds for Eos. Is this enough?
It's perfect. I'll make sure Eos gets them.
Here, I have the antibiotics for Kadara. Will the settlers be okay?
Once they have these, they'll be fine. I'll make sure they know who to thank.
Here, I found the solar amplifier for Vold.
They'll be happy to see this. No more power outages. Thank you, Pathfinder.
I managed to find an ionic filter for Elodin. Make sure they get it?
I'll get this delivered right away. They'll be relieved to have enough water.